My child, faithful one, look at me. Let me tell you who you really are. Not the version you have learned to present when the day is long and your shoulders remember the weight of it. Not the version that prepares for disappointment before the sun has even risen. Not the version that rehearses worst-case outcomes while the house is quiet and the clock's red numbers keep you awake. Not the version who measures your life by what has not happened yet and calls that measurement your worth. Not that version. I am not speaking to the worn-down you. I am speaking to the real you. I am speaking to the one I formed before waiting tried to etch its story across your face, before your heart learned to guard itself with calculations, with small exits in every conversation, with a smile that covers the ache, before you became fluent in managing expectations to protect yourself from the sting of hope. I know those reflexes. I do not shame them. But listen, they are not you. They are how you survived a chapter. They are not your identity, not your destiny, not your name. I am speaking to the you who was designed with a courageous yes embedded in your chest. The you whose gaze can hold light without looking away. The you who trusts me enough to take the next step without proof of the 10th. The you who was never meant to live by the pace of scarcity or the sound of other people's doubts. The you I saw before any delay-shaped story tried to make a home in your thinking. That you is here, that you is listening, now. This moment is not random. I do not send bread to empty tables. I do not speak into vacuums. I am not filling air, I am filling you. You are hearing me because transition is already in motion. Something has moved in the unseen and your awareness has found it. You are standing in the thin space where yesterday ends and what I promised begins to take on form. You have felt the quiet tremor, small but real, the subtle easing of pressure in your chest, the sudden thought that asked, what if it's closer than I think? That was not imagination. That was alignment announcing itself. You called it delay. You told yourself the story of running late, of missing windows, of being passed by. My child, hear me. What you named delay, I called alignment. Alignment is not absence. Alignment is the holy work of bringing pieces into position, so when movement begins, it is clean, it is strong, it is undeniable. Alignment often feels like stillness because stillness is where angles are corrected, foundations leveled, tracks switched, and seeds root. A seed is not failing when it is hidden. It is aligning with the soil that will hold it when it breaks open. I was not standing by with folded arms while you waited. I was arranging, quietly, precisely, without spectacle. I was making sure the door you would walk through would open onto ground that could hold your weight and your calling, not just your wish. I was aligning your internal compass to peace so you would recognize my fingerprints on the path and not be seduced by noise that looked like opportunity but carried no breath in it. I have been with you in all of it. I have not once lost track of your address. Arriving, not approaching as if still being assembled, arriving with the intentionality and the unstoppable momentum of a love that knows exactly where to find you, arriving to the places that felt delayed, arriving into your ordinary days so that the extraordinary does not have to shout, arriving into conversations, into your planning, into the spaces you thought you had to make smaller to fit reality. This is why I am speaking now, to tell you that the story you've been calling late is, in truth, right on time. And I want your heart listening to me more than it listens to the familiar ache of waiting. I know the muscle memory of disappointment wants to answer me before you do. I know the reflex that says, "Don't get your hopes up," tries to stand between us and nod like it is wisdom. But that fear is a lie. It has masqueraded as protection. It has diminished your expectancy. It has tried to edit your prayers down to what feels reasonable. I am restoring your true proportion, your ability to hope with me without apology, your capacity to receive without bracing. Do not confuse the calm that is settling over you for emptiness. That quiet is alignment doing its work. Like the moment a musician tunes the strings before the first note, what feels like pause is preparation for resonance. You are not behind. You are being tuned to my pitch, so when I play the next note, your life will echo with it rather than fight against it. I am not interested in noise. I am after music, harmonized, strong, steady. So, faithful one, breathe. Let your shoulders lower. Put down the lists you've been keeping of what has not happened, and let me hand you a different inventory. The courage that did not die, the tenderness that survived, the hunger for me that refused to be numbed. These are signs of the real you. I am speaking to that you with full intention. I am calling you forward not by shaming the weary self, but by naming the original self. Hear me. You are not the sum of postponed outcomes. You are the child I delight in, the one I crafted with vision beyond what you could see on your hardest days. This word is not a vague encouragement for someday. It is a present tense call because timing has shifted. Alignment has done its underground work and begun to surface. You will notice it in small ways first. A conversation that feels different. An opening in a place that used to be tight. A peace that does not ask for permission to remain. Do not minimize these. Do not explain them away as coincidence. Recognize my nearness in them. Say yes to me there. The door that matters will never require you to betray peace to pass through it. My child, I am not speaking to the worn-down version of you, because that version is not the one walking into what is arriving. I am speaking to your courage, to your healed consent, to your capacity to receive what I am giving without flinching. Take this as your confirmation. Your hearing is part of your moving. Your yes is already mending things inside you that the weight tried to fracture. We are at the threshold together. Stay with me. Listen closely. The alignment you endured is becoming the movement you will enjoy, and I am here, as I have always been, to lead you forward. My child, before we take another step, I will not pretend it did not cost you. I will not skip past the difficulty as if pace and faithfulness are the same thing. I have watched the nights when sleep would not stay, when your eyes closed but your mind kept running numbers with actual values in them. Calculations about time and budget and energy, what you could move and what you could not move, where the margin vanished and where you might find it again. I saw the hours you slept lightly, waking with a start because your body had learned to keep one foot on the brake just in case. I saw the mornings when you woke feeling older than your years, the muscles in your neck already tightened, the jaw already braced, the breath already too shallow for the day ahead. It touched your confidence too. I know how being faithful without immediate fruit can make the ground under your feet feel soft, how it can whisper that maybe you misheard me, maybe you aimed too high, maybe you were not who you thought you were when you first said yes. It eroded in layers, small erosion here, small erosion there, until self-doubt began to sound like wisdom and hope began to feel like a risk. Motivation, once a steady current, became inconsistent, coming in gusts and then falling away, and you learned to keep going without the wind in your back. Joy grew muted, like music heard from behind a wall. You knew the melody, you remembered the words, but the volume was turned down, and celebration felt like it would be a performance you didn't have the strength to stage. And your body carried it, the tension in your shoulders that would not fully release, the way your stomach tightened at the sight of certain emails or at the sound of certain names, the headaches after long days of being strong for others, being composed in rooms that did not know what it cost you to sit there, the heaviness that settled in your chest in the late afternoon, that sense of being pressed into a shape that did not quite fit who you are. Your nervous system adapted to the long middle. It chose vigilance like a guard at a door because it did not trust that relief would relieve. I know. I was with you in each breath of it. And your prayers, oh, your prayers. You wondered if they had become repetitive, if the same phrases, the same requests, the same tears had lost their potency because they were familiar. You felt the discomfort of asking again, as if persistence somehow made you look foolish. You worried that you were wearing out your welcome with me. Hear me with clarity. Those prayers did not fail to count. I count those prayers. I honor those prayers. I receive those prayers. Every whispered plea while washing dishes. Every sigh in traffic that hid a deeper petition. Every journal line you crossed out and wrote again because your heart still wanted it, even when your mind tried to downsize it. Every silence where you stared at the ceiling and said nothing, but your being leaned toward me. None of it evaporated into the air. It registered. It cost you something, and I have held it all. I will not call your endurance easy or pretty. I will not dress it up as if every day you felt triumphant. It was not cinematic. It was faithful. You showed up when you felt empty. You came to me when you felt numb. You tried again when you were disappointed again. You made dinner when your appetite was gone. You did your work when inspiration did not come. You answered messages you didn't have the energy to answer because you refused to let love shrink. You forgave people who did not even know you were forgiving them. You kept choosing not to turn bitter, not to run to numbing, not to make vows against hope. Your yes became quieter, but it did not turn to no. It survived. That matters to me. I saw you standing in that contradiction where giving up felt too final and pushing forward felt too heavy, so you lived in the middle, doing what needed to be done while your soul asked for a reason to keep expecting more. The middle is its own kind of exhaustion. It does not give you the closure of quitting or the thrill of arrival. It asks for stamina with few outward changes to reward it, and yet there you were day by day, faithful in the middle. I do not romanticize it. I honor it. I count it. There were days when you protected yourself with smaller prayers because the big ones seemed to expose you to disappointment. There were conversations where you softened your truth so you would not be accused of wanting too much. There were moments when you laughed at things that were not funny to make the room comfortable. Moments when you said, "I'm okay," because you were practicing courage by not collapsing, not because the ache had vanished. I was there. Not as a spectator, but as a father keeping record, not to grade you, but to guard you, watching your capacity deepen even when you could not see it. I also saw the seemingly insignificant victories that you did not celebrate because they looked small to you. The time you paused before reacting and chose gentleness over sharpness. The time you turned off the screen and chose to rest when anxiety told you to work more. The time you checked your bank account and did not let fear dictate your generosity. The time you went for a walk, called a friend, wrote a gratitude list, breathed on purpose. These were not detours. They were investments in the person who is now ready to receive. I want you to hear this with weight. Your waiting was not invisible to me. Not the tears, not the pacing, not the deep breaths in the bathroom before re-entering a room where you had to be strong. Not the exhale after a long appointment. Not the way your hands trembled a little when you pressed send. Not the brave choices that no one applauded because no one knew about them. I knew, I know, I have been with you in it all. The repetition in your prayers was not vain. It was the cadence of covenant, like waves that seem the same but are always moving something closer to shore. Your prayers advanced what you could not see. They were not about convincing me. They were about anchoring you. When you ran out of new ways to say it, you were not failing. You were simplifying into truth. I receive your simplicity. I wanted your heart, not your eloquence. And I have your heart. Now listen for the turn I am making with you. The pain has been real. The cost has been real. The pressure in your body, the edges on your hope, the quieting of your laughter, real. But do not let the reality of pain testify falsely about my presence. Pain is not proof of my denial. It is evidence of the formation you have undergone, the preparation that has been working beneath the surface. The long season did work in you that the quick season could not have done. It built the architecture of your inner life, the capacity to carry what is coming without breaking under it, the depth to recognize peace and choose it, the muscles to keep choosing me when the mood is low and the crowd is thin. So I will not pretend it didn't cost you. I will also not let the cost become the headline. You have been formed, not disqualified. You have been readied, not refused. What you called waiting has been alignment doing its slow, exact work inside you and around you. And as we move, you will find that what felt like lost time has become strength, that the middle you survived has become the ground you will stand on. Stay with me here. Let this validation steady you because the next note is already being played, and I want you to feel how your life now resonates with it. My child, listen closely. Stop calling it delay. Words build rooms, and you have been living in the room that delay built. I am asking you to step out of that room and into truth. Not delay, not abandonment, not punishment for things you cannot even remember doing. Not forgetfulness, as if I misfiled your name somewhere between yesterday and next year. Not me changing my mind after promising you something with my whole heart. Not that. Hear me. It was alignment. Alignment is not absence. Alignment is the quiet and holy choreography of love, arranging timing and people and provision so that when a door opens, it does not collapse under the weight of what you carry. Alignment levels the ground under your feet so that you do not twist your ankle with your first step. Alignment slows the hurry that would make you run through any open gap just to escape the ache of waiting. I will not rush you into rooms you must apologize for entering. I am not training you to scramble. I am fitting you to stand. What you interpreted as silence was me positioning pieces you did not know were part of your prayer. I was not ignoring you. I was adjusting the clock on intersections, yours, theirs, and mine, so that what you meet will meet you back. I was protecting you from wrong doors that wore the right paint. Some of those doors were attractive, but they were not safe. Some offered a platform, but would have taxed your peace until there was nothing left to sing from. Some promised quick relief, but hid a long contract that would have cost you clarity. I closed them for you, not against you. That was mercy doing its work without fanfare. There were opportunities that would have been true in a different season, but would have been premature in this one. Like fruit picked too early, shiny on the outside, still hard at the center, it would have required you to chew through what I intended to be sweet. There were relationships that glowed with chemistry, but were misaligned in calling. To say yes to them then would have taught you to live small, to keep the peace. There were jobs that would have paid you in the currency of applause and depletion. To take them would have trained your soul to trade rest for relevance. Some paths would have celebrated your gifts and starved your character. I am a father. I do not leave my children to figure out poison by tasting it. If I barred a door, I did so with your future well-being in my hands. You have read in Scripture that I order steps, that I make a way where there seemed to be none, that I establish what concerns you. Receive those as paraphrase themes of my heart for you in this very hour. I have not been haphazard with your days. I have been specific. I have been careful. I have been exact. Alignment is me honoring both the promise and the person who will carry it. I was preparing you not merely to receive, but to sustain what you asked me for, to hold it with joy, to steward it without fear, to share it without being emptied. Consider the seemingly small stalls that irritated you, the email that never arrived, the call that rescheduled, the meeting that moved, the no that sounded like an insult to your effort. Those were not accidents, they were adjustments. I redirected conversations so they would happen after your heart had shed the need to prove itself. I delayed signatures so the fine print would be corrected to protect you. I closed a calendar block so you would be home for an unexpected need, and in that need you would find a key to your next. You saw detours. I saw the shortest trustworthy path. And within you, I was aligning more than dates and addresses. I was straightening the measurements by which you have judged me and yourself. I was unteaching you the habit of bracing for loss. I was restoring your ability to hear peace as a clear yes, rather than treating it like a luxury you cannot afford. I was undoing vows you made in rooms where you were hurt, vows that sounded like wisdom but froze your reach. I was enlarging your capacity to stay gentle while you grow strong, to stay soft-hearted without becoming easily swayed. The middle shaped you for the open place you are now entering. You wondered if my quiet meant disinterest. It did not. My quiet was a guardrail. If I had flooded you with fireworks when your heart was still listening to fear for instructions, you would have chased sparkle instead of substance. I love you too much to let noise lead you. I have been tuning you to my pitch. I have been creating a resonance in you that will reject counterfeits on contact. When peace remains in your chest, while courage rises in your spine, that is me. When an opportunity invites your honesty instead of demanding your performance, that is me. When a door swings and you do not have to leave parts of yourself on the threshold to get through it, that is me. So bless the closed doors. Thank the disappointments that disguise deliverance. Honor the mercy that refused to let you settle for survivable when I am bringing you into sustainable. Refuse the lie that says a delayed visible answer is a denial of love. That fear is a lie. It has no data on my covenant. I chose you specifically. I have set my affection on you without expiration. What I give with intention for it to remain, to root, to flourish. Now hear the pivot. Alignment has a completion point. The tuning does not last forever. It exists for the song. Today is not just another day to stack on top of other days and call it more of the same. It is a hinge. I am turning the door on its oiled hinges. You will feel it in the way conversations shift. Less explaining, more understanding. You will sense it in the ease with which stalled things begin to move. Papers that sat are signed. Emails answered. A message from a name you had given up on hearing from. You will perceive it in your own body. The jaw unclenching without your notice. The shoulders lowering halfway through the day instead of long after it. Breath returning to you without a fight. Do not label these as mood. Recognize alignment completing its work. Arriving, not approaching as if still being assembled. Arriving with the intentionality and the unstoppable momentum of a love that has never misread your address. Arriving at your home, in the atmosphere that greets you when you walk through the door. Arriving in your work, projects gaining clarity and partners with integrity. Arriving in your relationships, conversations that heal old misunderstandings without demanding you relive them. Arriving in your finances, not as a jackpot that teaches you to gamble, but as steady provision that teaches you to breathe. It is in motion. It is real. And when you see the door that I open, you will know it, because peace will not argue with courage inside you. They will stand side by side like friends who have always belonged together. The right door will not require you to betray your Sabbath to keep your blessing. It will not ask you to shrink your truth so others feel taller. It will not flatter your insecurity while starving your calling. It will feel like the room I built you for finally has its lights on. You will step in, and what was heavy to carry alone will become light because it fits. My child, rename the season. Call it alignment. Call it preparation with purpose. Call it protection until it is time. When you change the name, you change the posture with which you meet my movement. The ache that trained you to brace will give way to the readiness that trains you to receive. Your words will stop building rooms where fear gets to narrate. They will begin to shape spaces where faith feels at home. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right where I have you, and I have you right where the door will open. Hold this with me. Today is a hinge. The long quiet was never me stepping away. It was me stepping in close to guide your hand to the right handle. I have been positioning every piece for the opening that honors you, honors them, and honors me. Stay near. Stay honest. Stay expectant. The door is moving. The room you will enter has been prepared, not only for your arrival, but for your staying. My child, hear me now, today, not the idea of someday, not the language of almost, not a horizon you must chase with a tired heart. Today, something is moving toward you right now with precision and kindness. It is not hypothetical. It is not distant. It is in motion, and it is at your address. You have felt the hinge. Now watch the door. I am turning it. I am opening it, not approaching, opening. Opening in your home. Opening in your mind. Opening in what you thought was stuck. Opening in the corners of your calendar that once felt inhospitable to rest. Opening in the budget where there used to be only subtraction. Opening in the conversations that kept looping without resolution. Opening in the whisper you had nearly silenced inside, your desire to live with color again. Opening in the place where you needed clarity more than applause. Opening in the boundary lines that will protect your peace without punishing your love. Opening in your calling where assignment meets timing and favor meets integrity. I am not speaking in riddles. I am speaking about doors, real doors, wearing names that matter to you. A door of peace that does not require you to earn breath by overworking your worth. A door of provision that arrives steady, teachable, and sustainable, not flashy, manipulative, or thin. A door of clarity that ends the debate inside your head and replaces it with a clean yes or a clean no. A door of restored desire where your mornings regain their light and your laughter does not have to be dragged from you. A door of reconciliation that does not demand amnesia about the past, but makes space for truth, boundaries, and repair. A door of new assignment that fits your design like a garment tailored to your real frame. A door of stable work that honors your values and your Sabbath, where you do not have to split yourself to remain. A door of wiser boundaries that keep love healthy and keep manipulation outside. You will see these doors begin to move in ways that seem ordinary first. Do not despise ordinary. Do not call small unspiritual because it does not sing in headlines. The opening may look like an email you did not expect to receive today, a clear invite that asks for the truth you carry, not a performance you must maintain. It may look like a text offering a conversation you thought was impossible, with humility in it, where there was once defensiveness. It may look like a small yes in you that used to be a flinch, a willingness to try again where the muscle once refused. It may look like a new idea that lands with quiet weight and refuses to be shooed away by doubt. It may look like a calm you cannot explain, a calm that settles under your ribs while you do the dishes, and you realize your breathing is deeper than it has been in months. It may look like a mentor's call returned, a job post that finally reads like it knows you, a meeting that surprisingly ends early with agreement instead of argument. It may look like an unexpected invitation to share your voice in a room that once felt closed to you. It may look like the simple strength to say, "No, thank you," without spiraling into guilt or the courage to say yes, without rehearsing your exit strategy. This is how my kingdom often moves, seed-like, quiet, and unstoppable. Hinge first, then swing. Whisper first, then testimony. I am not trying to trick you with spectacle. I am training you to recognize my peace. My peace is my signature. I do not open with panic. I do not push you with fear. I do not rush you with shame. When I open a door, confusion loses its grip, and a rightness settles that does not demand explanation. Courage rises not to prove something, but to participate in what is right. Integrity stands tall, uncompromised, because the path does not ask you to leave pieces of yourself on the floor to fit through the frame. So listen for this. You will notice that your shoulders lower before your mind has gathered all of its reasons. You will feel bravery and rest occupying the same room without arguing for the microphone. You will sense an invitation that does not bully. You will hear, under the noise of options, a clean note that matches the tuning I have been doing in you. That is me. That is how you will know which door is mine. Peace, not panic. Confirmation, not confusion. Integrity, not compromise. Weight that feels like substance, not pressure that feels like control. Do not misread gentle movement as lack of movement. The first drift of a door as it unsticks from a frame is quiet. The first light through the line between door and jamb is small. Recognize it, bless it, say, that is you, and let your yes soften the hinges. Today, I want you to watch for what is easing. The call you kept chasing, the one that would not return. Today, it returns. The idea you shelved because timing argued with it. Today, timing stops arguing. The fatigue that has sat on you like a heavy coat. Today, you realize you are holding it in your hand and you can choose to hang it up. The dread around a task, today, it thins out and becomes doable. The name that hurt, today you can hear it without flinching. Opening, opening, opening. In your home, a new atmosphere, less apology, more kindness. A rhythm that holds both work and rest without guilt. Laughter returning without having to force it into the room. In your mind, the loop breaks, the fog lifts, decisions simplify. Worry loses the monopoly on your attention. In what you thought was stuck, paperwork moves, approvals appear, a waiting list becomes a welcome. What always took forever breaks its habit. In your relationships, a phone call arrives with tears and truth. A boundary is spoken and respected. Forgiveness begins where resentment was rehearsed. In your work, a project lands with favor. A supervisor sees what was unseen. A door of stable work opens where you do not have to trade soul for salary. In your finances, a consistent stream replaces a scramble. Unexpected help arrives without strings. Margin appears and teaches you to breathe. In your calling, a new assignment clarifies not to inflate ego but to extend love with precision. In your inner world, the desire to live well brightens. The meal tastes again. The walk calls your name. The future stops feeling like a test you are bound to fail. I am not opening trapdoors. I am opening passageways. I am not offering detours that barely hold. I am revealing routes that have been prepared for you. Roots that honor the strength you earned in the middle and make room for the tenderness I protected in you. Some doors will require patience to pass through because they open forward with steady motion rather than a reckless swing. That is not delay. That is safeguarding. Stay with me at the threshold. Keep your hands open. Keep your words aligned with what I am doing. Call it what it is. Opening. There will also be doors that appear inviting but carry the wrong signature. They will promise quick outcomes but strain your peace. They will flatter your insecurity and demand your secrecy. They will require you to explain away your own discernment to make them make sense. Hear me, those are not mine. They are loud. I am clear. They incite panic. I impart peace. They confuse your values. I confirm your values. They fracture your integrity. I strengthen your integrity. If you have to step over what I taught you to reach it, it is not me. Today, watch your body, watch your breath, watch your language. When the door I open comes into view, you will find yourself saying, "This feels right," and you will not have to bully yourself to believe it. You will notice a grace for the next small action, a reply, a calendar hold, a walkthrough, a gentle but firm, "Yes, I can," or "No, I cannot," and peace will remain. You will sense me beside you, not behind you with a timer. You will not be tossing alliances with panic to meet a deadline of fear. You will be walking with me, step by steady step, through an entry designed for your stride. And for the ones who say, "But I do not see it yet," I say, lift your eyes in the ordinary. The sign of opening might be the message that simply says, "Thinking of you, when can we talk?" It might be the bill that arrives lower than expected. It might be a shift in how you speak to yourself today, less accusation, more compassion, and that shift will open rooms externally because it has opened the right room internally. Trust the first light. Welcome the first inch. Doors do not need fanfare to be real. They need your agreement and my hand, and today you have both. My child, this is not later. This is happening now. Doors are opening with my peace upon them. Walk attentive, walk soft-hearted and strong-spined. Bless the small, for in blessing the small, you meet the great mid-swing. I am with you on this threshold. I am the one who opens and no one shuts. And what I open for you today will train your courage, settle your heart, and lead you into rooms where you can stay. My child, before you take another step toward the threshold, let me place my hand on the part of you that learned to brace. Disappointment trained your body and your thoughts to prepare for impact even when goodness knocked. You lowered your expectations like furniture against a storm, thinking small would keep you safe. You pre-rejected what you desired to avoid the sting of being told no. You called it wisdom to want less, to ask less, to hope with a numb heart so you wouldn't have to manage the aftershock of another delay. I saw you dim the lights on your own longing because bright hope felt like an exposed window. I honor the reason you did it. Survival taught you to guard the door of your yes. But hear me. I am not leaving you to live as if every approach to blessing requires flinching. You do not have to brace with me. I am restoring the yes in you, the childlike yes, not a childish one, the yes that trusts without being reckless, that delights without ignoring reality, that leans forward because it is held by a faithful hand. I am unteaching you fear. I am retraining your expectation. I am returning softness without making you naive. I am not asking you to forget what hurt. I am asking you to let me hold what hurt, so it no longer holds you. The shield that once kept you is now too heavy to carry through the doorway I am opening. Put it in my hands. Let me be your shield so your arms can be free enough to receive. You have called your guardedness discernment, but much of it has been dread in a borrowed coat. Discernment is quiet, clear, and respectful. It stands beside you like a steady friend and says, "Here is the next right step," and it gives you room to choose. Discernment partners with peace and does not shout. Dread is loud, punishing, and urgent. It threatens consequences if you move, and it threatens consequences if you don't. It forces you to over-explain to yourself. It scolds you for desiring, and it writes worst-case stories on every blank space. Hear me. Dread is not me. I am not the voice that shoves, shames, or startles you into safety. When I caution you, I do it with clarity, not cruelty. When I pause you, I do it with purpose, not panic. Place your hand on your heart and notice the reflex that tightens when goodness approaches, the micro flinch, the instinct to search for the hidden catch. the move to minimize what arrives so you won't be devastated if it leaves. I am reaching into that reflex. I am dissolving the hidden vows you made to protect yourself. Vows like, I won't get my hopes up, I will be content with crumbs, I won't need anyone. Those vows once felt like shelter, now they are ceilings. I am the one who removes ceilings. I am giving you back the capacity to hope without the undertow of dread, to say yes without translating your yes into a contract of self-erasure. Your waiting has expanded you. I want you to recognize that. It did not shrink your destiny. It stretched your interior. Your roots went down. Your wisdom matured. Your no grew strong so your yes could be pure. You can hold more responsibility without living in resentment. You can carry more blessing without spilling into performative striving. You can stand in rooms that once would have triggered the old scramble and not lose yourself. You can be seen without auditioning, trusted without tensing, provided for without paying back in shame. You have more room now, room for joy, room for correction that doesn't crush you, room for visibility that does not steal your privacy, room for generosity that doesn't bankrupt your rest. The season that taught you survival also built the architecture for receiving. I am restoring your ability to receive without flinching. Hear that like a physician's report over your soul. The startle in your body that tenses when kindness arrives. I am soothing it. The loop in your mind that jumps to suspicion when doors open. I am rewiring it. The narrative that whispered, if it comes, it won't stay. I am replacing with, what I give with intention to remain. I am teaching your nervous system what your spirit already knows. My goodness is not a trick. My provision is not bait. My favor is not a test you are bound to fail. It is love moving toward you with steadiness. It is safety you do not have to perform to keep. And because the doors are opening, posture matters. If your heart remains locked in survival, you will mistake opportunity for threat, provision for pressure, kindness for control. You will sabotage what you prayed for by treating it like an intruder. I am not condemning you. I am preparing you. I will not put you in a room you can only experience as danger. I am healing the reflex so you can stand in blessing and call it by its right name. Your shoulders can stay lowered. Your breath can be deep. Your mind can say yes without drafting escape routes. Your yes can be clean, not crowded by apology. This is what healed receiving will look like in your ordinary days. When help is offered, you will not disqualify yourself with, others need it more. You will say, thank you, and let the grace do its good work. When a fair wage is placed on the table, you will not talk yourself down to prove humility. You will honor the value I placed in you and agree with fairness. When encouragement finds you, you will not deflect it with humor or suspicion. You will let it land and nourish the places that have been hungry for so long. When a healthy boundary is required to keep love honest, you will set it without fearing it will make you unlovable. When you are seen, you will not reach for a mask out of habit. You will stay present knowing you are safe with me. I am not asking you to abandon discernment. I am refining it. Your discernment will stop being a siren and start being a compass. It will not bully, it will guide. It will not keep you from all risk, it will keep you from foolish harm. It will not punish you for wanting. It will help you align your wanting with my wisdom. In this new posture, peace and courage will stop competing in you. They will stand side by side. You will feel permission to enjoy what I give while remaining awake to me. That is what I'm after, awake enjoyment, protected softness, sturdy joy. For the part of you that says, but soft people get hurt, hear me. Softness with me is not exposure to harm, it is exposure to healing. I am not returning you to naivety. I am restoring tenderness that knows the cost of love and chooses it wisely. I am giving you eyes that recognize manipulation sooner, a voice that speaks truth sooner, feet that walk away sooner, and a heart that does not harden into suspicion as its only shield. You will not become less safe by receiving. You will become more whole. I will keep you as you say yes. So let me speak to that doorway inside you, the one that controls entry. Open it, even a little. Say yes to life returning to your mornings. Say yes to margin returning to your budget. Say yes to help. Say yes to laughter you didn't have to earn. Say yes to the conversation that honors both truth and boundaries. Say yes to the assignment that fits you instead of the one that flatters your fear. Say yes to practicing rest without guilt. Say yes to being loved without earning it. You are not bracing anymore. The room you are entering is not a test. It is a table. Come, sit. I am here. And as you sit, watch how the tremor leaves your hands, how the guardedness loosens its grip. This is the new reflex I am building in you. Not flinch, but receive. Not brace, but breathe. Not shrink, but stand. My child, I am restoring the yes in you. I am restoring your ability to receive without flinching. Meet me at the opening with this healed posture, and watch how what once felt dangerous to your heart becomes nourishment to your soul. Stay near, stay honest, stay soft in my strength. The door is open, and you are ready. My child, the door is moving, and you are ready. Now I want your posture to match what I am doing. I am not asking you to perform. I am aligning you to participate. When the hinge gives and the line of light appears, I want you to know exactly how to stand, how to breathe, how to respond so that you do not mistake grace for pressure or confuse gentleness for absence. 4 postures will keep you steady in this moment. Notice, receive, release, and stay near. Simple, durable, repeatable. They will not exhaust you. They will train you. First, notice. Train your attention to small shifts. Celebrate the beginning. Do not demand fireworks as proof. Do not hold your breath for spectacle and miss the seed. My movements often enter quietly through the ordinary door you use every day. An email with warmth in it where there used to be delay. A conversation that doesn't escalate. A number on a bill that comes back kinder than you feared. A calm in your chest that arrives while you wash a plate. Call these what they are. My fingerprints. Notice them, name them, and bless them. This is how you keep your heart soft to me and awake to what I am doing, by recognizing the first inch as surely as the full swing. Practice this with me. Each day, make what I call your evidence list. It can be a small notebook by your bed or a note in your phone. 3 lines are enough, even 1 if that is what fits. Write evidence of alignment today, then list what moved. Return call with humility. Unexpected discount. Breathing felt easier after the meeting. Clarity for next step. These are not accidents you are trying to talk into importance. These are reliable signs that the ground beneath you is aligning with my intention. When you record them, you teach your attention to find me in the day that looked ordinary, and you strengthen the muscle that keeps cynicism from deciding your story. If you forget and remember only at the end of the week, gather what you can. If you remember in the middle of a busy afternoon, pause for a breath and whisper, I notice that, and I call it you. Second, receive without minimizing. Do not explain away favor. Do not call answered prayer luck, because humility feels safer if it avoids naming a gift as a gift. Humility does not refuse my kindness. It honors it. When provision arrives, let gratitude stand full-sized in the room. When your name is honored without you having to campaign, let it land. When help is offered, allow it to be help instead of converting it into a debt you have to repay with shame. When joy brushes your mornings again, do not interrogate it until it leaves. Receive without apology. Let your thank you be complete. Practice this with a single sentence. When something good reaches you, a kind word, a solved problem, a new opportunity, say aloud or whisper, "Thank you, I receive this as your kindness to me." That is all. Not a speech about how undeserving you are, not a nervous joke to deflect the sweetness, not 5 reasons why someone else needs it more. Gratitude does not shrink to avoid envy. It expands and becomes generosity. When you receive fully, what you carry begins to overflow in ways that lift others without you bleeding out. If embarrassment comes because blessing has been rare, I understand that reflex. Look at me and let me steady you. I am not tricking you. I am giving to you because I love you, because I trust you to carry this with clean hands, because what I place in you will bless more than you. Receiving without minimizing is not self-exaltation. It is agreement with my heart. Third, release what kept you stuck. This is where your hands open. I am not asking you to pretend that pain did not carve deep places in you, but there are weights you cannot carry through the doorway. Release bitterness, the story you keep rereading where you are always in the courtroom building a case. Release comparison, the inventory you take of others' lives that always returns a verdict against your own. Release self-blame, the endless audit that tries to find a precise mistake to punish so that control can masquerade as safety. Release the need to control outcomes, because control has been a cruel master that delivered panic more often than protection. Release the habit of rehearsing loss, those mental rehearsals that prepare you for disaster and punish you for hoping. Practice this with a forgiveness and release moment each day, as simple as you can make it and as honest as it needs to be. Sit with me for 3 minutes. Name the person, the place, the season, or even your own name if you have been your harshest judge. Then say, "I release name from my judgment into your hands. I release the outcome to you. I choose blessing over bitterness. Heal me where I was wounded. If grief rises, do not rush it. Let it breathe. If anger comes, be honest. I already know. You are not excusing harm when you forgive. You are choosing not to be chained to harm while I do what is right." And for the voice that says, "But if I stop rehearsing, I will be blindsided," hear me. Vigilance rooted in fear has made you tired, but it has not made you safer. My wisdom and my presence make you safe. Release is not abdication, it is alignment. It is your yes to me being God. Fourth, stay near. Nearness is your steady. Near in the morning before the headlines of the day write your story for you. Near in the mid-afternoon when your energy dips and the old script wants to take over. Near at night when your mind tries to choose between dread and distraction. Stay near with prayers that are simple and honest. I do not require you to impress me with language. I want you to invite me with truth. One sentence can anchor an entire day if your heart leans into it. Practice this with a morning surrender prayer. When you wake, before your hand finds the scroll of the world, let your voice find me. Say, "Father, I belong to you. Lead me, and I will follow." Or, "Here I am. I say yes to your peace and your path today." Or, "Guide my steps and guard my heart. I will stay close." 3 sentences are plenty. 1 will do. Then invite my counsel before choices. When you are about to reply to the message that could reopen old patterns, whisper, "Counsel me, and I will listen." When a meeting asks you to choose between integrity and appeasement, say, "Give me your words and your spine." When anxiety spikes, your breath shortens, your shoulders lift, your thoughts race. Return to me with a midday reset. I give you this pressure. What is my next right step? I answer with peace, with clarity, with reminders of what I already taught you. I do not answer with shame. If you feel condemned by a voice that will not let you rest, that voice is not mine. I also want you to hold a simple rhythm. Pause, pray, proceed. Before entering rooms that matter, pause for the length of one deep breath. Pray one sentence of welcome to me. Proceed with the confidence that I go with you. This rhythm is how you carry the nearness from the quiet place into the noisy place. Nearness is not a mood you maintain by perfection. It is a relationship you return to repeatedly. If you drift, return. If you forget, remember and return. If you feel numb, tell me, I feel numb, but I want you near, and that honesty becomes the open door through which my comfort walks. These four, notice, receive, release, stay near, are not temporary tactics for a fragile moment. They are your posture for this entire chapter of aligned openings. They protect you from the two ditches that have stalked you, minimizing what I am doing until you starve in a room full of food, or grabbing at what I am doing with fear until you choke on blessing by trying to control it. Noticing keeps your eyes soft to seeds. Receiving keeps your hands open to fullness. Releasing keeps your heart free from the weights that used to bend your posture. Nearness keeps your steps in rhythm with mine. This is how it will look on an ordinary day. You will notice the first sign, a kinder tone in an email, a quiet confidence in your answer, and you will write it down. Evidence of alignment. You will receive a compliment or a solution and say, under your breath, thank you. I receive this as your kindness. You will feel old resentment rise when someone else's door swings, and you will pause, place the resentment in my hands, and say, I release this comparison, and your chest will loosen. You will step into a decision and pray, here I am, guide my step, and you will sense which way peace stands and walk there. And if a misstep happens, if you notice late or receive halfway or cling for a moment or drift from nearness, I will not withdraw. I will come find you where you are and bring you back to these simple postures. I am not measuring you for punishment. I am forming you for staying power. My child, your next season requires this aligned posture, open hands, honest prayer, steady nearness to me. Stand like this at the hinge, and you will not miss the swing. Practice like this in the small, and you will carry the same posture into rooms of increase without losing your soul. I am with you in the noticing. I am with you in the receiving. I am with you in the releasing. I am with you in the nearness. Take the step you can take today. Write one evidence, speak one gratitude, release one name, pray one simple sentence. Watch how peace multiplies. Watch how courage steadies. Watch how the door that is moving makes room for you to pass through without bracing. I am here. We will walk it together. My child, as the hinge moves and light draws a line on the floor, fear will try to step in and narrate this moment for you. It has studied your history and learned your reflexes. It will rush to explain the opening with old language meant for closed seasons. I will not let those voices define this threshold. I want to address your fears one by one because they are lying to you. Your fear is not prophecy, my promise is. The fear that whispers, I missed it, what I needed already passed me by. That fear is a lie. You are not living under a scavenger hunt I set up to watch you fail. I am a father who orders steps, not a trickster who hides clues. Even the turns you regret, even the pauses that felt like paralysis, I have braided into alignment. I am not late to your life. I am not standing on the far side of an opportunity with disappointment in my eyes. I am here guiding, redeeming, pulling threads you cannot see into a tapestry you will. Missed by whose calendar? Missed compared to which map? I carry the map. I authored the time. I am able to bring what matters within reach, and to bring you within reach of what matters. You did not miss me. I did not miss you. The fear that hisses, your window closed. That fear is a lie. I do not rule your future by one fragile window that slams in a gust of wind. I write in seasons and I open doors that no human hand can bar. If a window shut, it was because a door would be better for you, safer for you, more fitting for the size of what I am placing in you. I am not stingy with access. I am strategic with timing. When I say now, I do not mean maybe. When I say this way, I do not mean prove yourself worthy of this way. I am opening what I am opening because it is time, not because you finally learned to grovel correctly. Look at me. I am the one turning the knob. You will walk through a door, not scramble through a crack. The fear that says, I'm behind. Everyone else has moved on, and I am late. That fear is a lie. Behind implies a race I never entered you into. Comparison built that track. Shame fired the starting gun. I have had you in training for terrain they do not have to cross. I have been strengthening particular muscles for particular hills. Those uncelebrated repetitions, the quiet yes, the hidden integrity, the unseen forgiveness are not delays, they are formation. I do not measure you against anyone's clock. I lead you by my hand. Led is not late. Say it. I am not late. I am led. I am not behind. I am being prepared. The acceleration you fear you forfeited is in my power to give. One obedient step at my word can carry you across a distance your striving could not in a year. The fear that growls, God will give it and then take it away. He will surprise me and then snatch it to teach me a lesson. That fear is a lie. I am not cruel. I am not unstable. I do not tease the hungry with the scent of bread and then slam the oven. I am not grooming you for disappointment to harden you. I am growing you for trust to free you. Adoption in my family is irrevocable. I do not unson or undaughter you when you drop something I placed in your hands. I correct to restore, not to humiliate. I prune to make room for fruit, not to prove that I can cut. When I give with intention for it to remain and to mature. What I ask you to lay down is never to starve you. It is to place a heavier blessing in hands that are lighter and freer. Learn my heart here. I am not baiting you. I am building you. The fear that declares, I am not worthy of this. I should not expect anything good. That fear is a lie. Worthiness is not a currency you mint by suffering enough. Worthiness is the robe I place on you because you are mine. I chose you specifically. I called you by name. I set my love on you because I love you, not because you negotiated a better version of yourself. Humility does not deny my favor. Humility receives it and says, this is who my Father is. To refuse what I am giving under the banner of unworthiness is to argue with my affection. Your worth is not the sum of your best days minus your worst days. Your worth is the fact of my choosing and the permanence of my covenant. You are adopted and an heir, and I do not rescind inheritance because your hands have trembled. The fear that moans, I'm too damaged. What I have been through has disqualified me from delicate things, lasting love, steady provision. That fear is a lie. I have walked every corridor of your pain with you. I am not avoiding your scars. I am tracing them with healing. The places that were torn are not empty. They have new strength woven in. The cracks in a vessel become the testimony of where light got in and where my glory shines through. I do not discard vessels because they have been through fire. I trust them because they have learned to hold without shattering. What you call damage, I call depth. What you call disqualification, I call preparation. The tenderness you fear makes you fragile, is the very tenderness that makes you safe for the blessing you asked me to trust you with. The fear that insists, it won't last. Good always fades around me. This will evaporate too. That fear is a lie. I am giving you stability, not a spark that burns out. I complete what I begin. I steady what I start. The momentum you feel is not a gust that will die as quickly as it rose. It is a tide drawn by the gravity of my faithfulness. Yes, you will need to steward, to tend, to return to me, but that is not a condition designed to make you fail. It is an invitation to remain in a flow that will not run dry. You are not at the mercy of random fortune. You live inside my covenant care. I am placing pillars in your life. Peace that does not leave when headlines change. Provision that grows as you walk in integrity. Relationships that strengthen because you practice truth and tenderness. This is not a tease. This is a settling. Now, breathe with me and let these truths settle in your body. Put your hand on your heart and speak with me. I am not late. I am led. I am not forgotten. I am seen and being positioned. I am not disqualified. I am chosen and adopted. I am not bracing for loss. I am being established. My fear is not prophecy. My Father's promise is my future. Let the sound of those words replace the old narration that swelled when the handle began to turn. Let them re-script your nervous system so that peace becomes your home frequency and courage learns to stand in the same room. Hear me also in this. Fear will try to dress itself as wisdom when the door opens. It will call itself discernment and point at your past like a prosecutor. It will say, "What if this is a trap? What if the cost is hidden? What if you are walking into abandonment?" When that voice rises, do not race to prove it wrong, and do not surrender to its command. Bring the moment into my presence and test it by peace and obedience. Ask, does peace remain when I pray? Do I feel the quiet clarity that does not bully me? Does this step align with what you have already taught me about integrity, love, and truth? Is the next move something I can do today in faith, not in panic? Take the smallest faithful step you can take and then listen again. Fear dramatizes. My guidance is steady. Fear makes you choose between two catastrophes. My counsel shows a path where peace and courage stand together. I am not the voice of torment in decision. I do not whip you into yes or shame you into no. I guide you like a shepherd, near, attentive, firm when needed, and always with a hand on your shoulder. When you test the door with a prayerful touch and obedience in your feet, you will feel the resonance of my peace, and you will see the early fruit of alignment, not perfection, but signs. A softening where there was hardness, timely help where there was blockage, confirmation in counsel that honors both truth and love. That is how you will know that fear's forecast is false. Your fear is not prophecy. My promise is. So when fear surfaces tomorrow, interrupt it with the truth I have given you. Write it on your evidence list as surely as you write the signs of alignment. Fear said I missed it. Truth said I am led. Fear said it won't last. Truth said I am being established. Fear said I am not worthy. Truth said I am adopted and held. Let your own voice become an echo of mine in your home, in your car, in the quiet between tasks. This is how you will walk through what I open without trembling into self-sabotage. This is how you will stand in rooms you once could not enter without shrinking. I am with you in every refutation. I am with you in every declaration. I am with you in every obedient step that proves fear wrong again. Stay near and watch fear lose its script in your life. My promise is the story being written, and it will stand. My child, because I love you, I will make this plain. I do not want you walking in guesswork when the handle turns. I want you trained to recognize what I open by the texture of it, by the atmosphere around it, by the way it interacts with your spirit, your integrity, your community. Here is how you will know the right door. 4 witnesses will stand and agree. Peace, fruit, confirmation, and courage. Not a feeling that vanishes under the first cloud, not a spectacle that dazzles you and then leaves you empty. Steady witnesses that remain when you pray, when you test, when you wait through the first stretch of obedience. The door I open will not steal your peace. It will train your courage. First, peace. Not the peace of numbing out. Not the peace of avoidance. Not the peace of pretending there is no risk. Peace that remains when you bring the opportunity into my presence and breathe. Peace that quiets accusation and removes the need to self-justify. Peace that says, I can step and still sleep tonight, even if your stomach flutters and your hands tremble a little. My peace is not the absence of nerves. It is the absence of condemnation and confusion. You will feel the difference between a bully at your back and a shepherd at your side. Where I open a door, there will be a resonance inside you that matches what you know of my character. Gentle authority, clean motives, room to be honest. When you pray, the static lowers. When you wait a beat, the pressure does not escalate into panic. It settles into clarity. Second, fruit. Not instant fireworks, but early signs that this path produces good over time. Watch the first weeks. Does choosing this step cultivate patience, integrity, and consistent kindness in you? Do conversations become more honest, not more performative? Does your body register relief somewhere even as your capacity is stretched? Breathing that deepens, jaw that loosens, a steadier morning. Do outcomes, though not perfect, show patterns of timely help, fair exchange, and increasing order? Good fruit looks like doors that lead to rooms where you can tell the truth and remain whole. It looks like endurance that grows not from adrenaline, but from grace. It looks like small, repeatable wins that stack into stability. It looks like joy that returns in ordinary hours, not only at highlight moments. The right door will bear fruit that echoes my heart: love, patience, faithfulness, self-control. Not performative success that rots your interior. Third, confirmation. I am not asking you to read every cloud for a sign, but I am training you to receive wise counsel and notice convergences. When I open a door, I do not isolate you from voices that respect both truth and love. You will hear a confirming note in counsel that knows you and guards your destiny. Voices that do not flatter you into folly, nor shame you into paralysis. You will see alignment in timing that you could not orchestrate, resources meeting need, messages crossing at just the right hour, provisions appearing where there used to be drought. You will find that the principles I have already taught you in my word, integrity, patience, generosity, stewardship, reconciliation, do not have to be bent to make this fit. You will not need to step outside the light to walk through the opening. You will not be required to lie, to hide, to sever prayer, to abandon accountability. Confirmation is the convergence of inner peace, outer signs, and trusted counsel that says, yes, this aligns. Fourth, courage. Every door I open asks something of you. It will not coddle fear, it will call courage forward in you, but hear me. That call will not sound like condemnation. It will not taunt you with shame or threaten you with abandonment if you hesitate. It will challenge the smallness that pain taught you without despising your tenderness. Courage here looks like taking the step you can take today: a phone call, a yes to the meeting, an application submitted, a boundary stated, an offer accepted, an apology made, a plan discussed, a calendar updated. You will feel stretched, but you will not feel violated. You will feel weight, but not the old crushing. You will need me, and you will notice that needing me does not feel like failure. It feels like alignment. Now, let me apply this to the rooms of your life so you can test it in the concrete, not only in abstraction. In relationships, the right door will lead you toward light, not secrecy. Peace will remain after honest conversations. You will not have to contort your convictions to be wanted. Fruit will look like respect that shows up in small ways, kept words, safe boundaries, repair after conflict without manipulation. Confirmation will come through community that sees you clearly and blesses the connection without being charmed into blindness. Courage will be required to name your needs, to slow the pace if speed is replacing depth, to end what cannot honor me, or to risk letting yourself be loved without performing. Beware counterfeit doors that rush intimacy, isolate you from spiritual family, or ask you to hide parts of your life in the dark. Flattery that bypasses character is not my fingerprint. In your work and calling, the right door will not require you to sell your peace for a paycheck or a platform. Peace will sit with you when you read the offer. Confusion and fear of exposure will not be the engine. Fruit will be seen in rhythms that allow rest and integrity, fair exchange, clarity of role, growth without eroding your soul. Confirmation will come through provision that fits the season and counsel that does not need you to be impressive to believe in you. Courage will be needed to step out of comfort, to learn openly, to say no to roles that prize you for what you can produce while starving who you are. Watch for counterfeit doors with exploding deadlines that do not permit prayer, vague promises that punish you for asking clarifying questions, contracts that ask you to mute convictions, or cultures that celebrate chaos and call it hustle. In ministry and service, the right door will make you more in love with people, not with applause. Peace will expand as you serve, even when you are tired. Condemnation will not accompany the need. Fruit will look like people helped, burdens lifted, and a joy that surprises you in ordinary, unfilmed moments. Confirmation will rise in your community, recognizing grace on you, not you. Manufacturing a brand to get attention. Courage will be needed to be seen without needing to be spectacular, to rest when I say rest, and to keep your secret life with me as robust as your public service. Beware counterfeits that measure worth by metrics alone, that coax you to neglect your home in the name of impact, or that reduce people to platforms. In your health and body care, the right door will be sustainable, honest, and kind. Peace will accompany small, faithful changes. Shame will not be the coach. Fruit will be consistency more than intensity, energy that returns, sleep that deepens, numbers that move in a direction that aligns with wisdom. Confirmation will be counsel that respects your story, professionals that treat you as a person, not a project, and your own body giving feedback that agrees. Courage will be needed to ask for help, to face patterns without self-hatred, to choose process over quick fixes. Watch for counterfeit doors promising instant transformation at the cost of integrity or community. Plans that isolate you in secrecy, or regimens that demand you despise your body to change it. In finances, the right door will invite order, generosity, and integrity. Peace will settle as you put numbers with actual values on paper. Panic will not be your planner. Fruit will look like margin created over time, obligations met without lying, and the capacity to give without resentment. Confirmation will come through open streams that do not require you to compromise honesty, and through counsel that helps you steward, not just spend. Courage will be needed to set a budget, to say no to impulse, to sow where I say sow, to make a phone call that faces debt with integrity. Beware counterfeits that trumpet overnight riches that require secrecy, that disconnect you from prayer and community, or that promise exemption from sowing and stewardship. In boundaries with family and friends, the right door will protect love with truth. Peace will remain after you speak your no kindly. You will not be tormented by fear of being bad for choosing health. Fruit will look like reduced chaos, clearer expectations, and more honest affection. Confirmation may come through a counselor or pastor, affirming your boundary as wise, not selfish. Courage will be needed to hold the line when old dynamics push back, to forgive without re-entering harm, to invite repair without supplying excuses. Beware counterfeit doors that call codependence loyalty that require secrecy, that punish you for being honest, or that make you choose between belonging and becoming whole. I never require you to break yourself to keep the peace. Peace that costs your soul is not peace. It is captivity. Now, watch for the counterfeits in all domains. Urgency that forbids you to pray is not me. Flattery that rushes past character is not me. Secrecy that isolates you from wise eyes is not me. Chaos that grows louder when you pause to breathe is not me. Confusion that multiplies the more you ask for clarity is not me. If stepping toward this door requires you to become smaller than the truth, it is not mine. If the only way forward is to silence what I taught you, it is not mine. The door I open may stretch you, but it will not unmake you. And then, my child, you must walk. I can open 100 doors. They are still thresholds until your foot moves. Do not wait for the absence of heartbeat or sweaty palms. Wait for the presence of my peace, and then take the faithful step you can take today. Call, apply, decline, schedule, confess, plan, ask, release, begin. Bring it into prayer. Receive the witness of peace. Watch for early fruit. Gather confirmation from wise counsel, and let courage have your hand. This is how you will know. This is how you will move. The door I open will not steal your peace. It will train your courage. And as you walk with me, peace will be your companion, fruit will be your testimony, confirmation will be your guardrail, and courage will be your song. My child, thresholds do not become stories until your foot moves. This is the moment where discernment becomes obedience, where recognition becomes motion. Hear me. Your breakthrough is on the other side of a faithful step you can take today. Not tomorrow when you feel braver. Not when every variable is mapped. Today. I am not opening a door to mock you. I am opening a door to move you. I am not testing you to expose weakness. I am guiding you to express trust. Take my hand. We will walk. I want to teach you the small yes. The small yes is the way big things arrive without crushing you. The small yes is how alignment becomes momentum. It is the glass of water carried to a neighbor, the message sent without a full script, the budget line written with real numbers, the apology voiced before your pride has a speech prepared, the first 15 minutes of prayer opened like a window in a stale room. The small yes is not glamorous, but it is holy. The small yes is how you train your heart to receive, without bargaining, and to obey without performing. Do not despise the day that looks like only this. Your only this in my hands is already turning the hinge that will swing wide in a way you will later call sudden. Sudden is what it feels like when hidden faithfulness meets my timing. Sudden is the harvest word for the field you have watered in quiet. I know your hesitation patterns. You overthink until your courage drains out through tiny holes named what if. But last time, and wait until I'm sure. You ask me for perfect certainty while refusing the peace I have already placed in your chest. You wait for everyone's approval as if unanimity were proof of my will, even though I trained you to weigh counsel, not to outsource your obedience. You replay old failures as if they were prophecies, turning memory into a whip that strikes you when you approach the threshold. My child, hear me clearly. Overthinking is not wisdom. It is fear in a suit. Perfect certainty is not the requirement. Faithful nearness is. Universal approval is not the sign. Peace with me and integrity before me are. Your past is not your judge. It is your classroom, and I am your teacher who grades with mercy and clarity, not with shame. Stop waiting for the room to stop spinning before you stand. Stand and lean on me. Stop asking the storm to be silent before you step. Step and watch how I steady you. I am not saying ignore counsel. I am saying stop asking it to carry what only courage can carry. I am not saying disregard patterns. I am saying stop enthroning them as prophecy. I will go with you. I will steady you. I will correct you gently. I will not leave you halfway. If your foot slides, my hand will not. If your plan needs adjusting, I will show you how to pivot without losing yourself. I am not a critic in the balcony. I am a father in the room. I am not opening a door to expose you. I am opening a door to escort you. Let us make this plain. What is the faithful step you can take today? Send the message to schedule the conversation. Submit the application you have edited into paralysis. Apologize for your part without demanding payment for theirs. Schedule the appointment you have avoided because fear named it doom. Start the routine that your body and mind have been begging for. 10 minutes to walk, 15 to pray, 5 to plan tomorrow before you collapse into it. Return to prayer like a friend's porch, not a courtroom. Say 3 sentences if that is what you have. I listen to honesty more than eloquence. Open the budgeting document and put numbers with actual values. Even if those numbers scare you, pick 1 box to pack, 1 shelf to clear, 1 drawer to sort as a sign that you are preparing room. Decline the invitation that violates your peace and then breathe through the quiet that follows. It is me protecting you. Forgive the debt you keep collecting with interest in your imagination and write their name into my hands. Do not ask me to carry what I am asking you to move with me. I will not do your obedience for you, but I will do it with you. I supply strength as you lift, not only after you have moved everything. Provision waits on the path, not only in the planning room. The manna met my people as they walked. The water came when the staff struck rock. The multiplying happened in the breaking and giving, not while waiting for perfect portions. Hear the pattern. Move with me and watch what does not yet exist arrive under your feet. I want to give you a simple practice to anchor this. First, ask me, what is my small yes today? Listen without bullying yourself. Trust the first clear, peace-marked nudge that rises when you pray. Second, write it down in simple words. Naming it pulls it from fog into form. Third, do it within the next 24 hours. Do not wait for inspiration. Obedience grows inspiration the way walking grows warmth. Fourth, return to me and review. Tell me what you did, how it felt, what you noticed. We will adjust together. This is not a performance review, this is companionship. Fifth, repeat tomorrow. You are not trying to manufacture a miracle. You are learning to live at the speed of grace. I know another hesitation. What if I take the wrong step? What if you do? Then I will meet you there and redirect you without humiliation. I am better at leading than you are at wandering. My corrections sound like clarity, not like a courtroom. You are not on a tightrope over a canyon. You are on a path with a shepherd who walks at your pace and knows the way. I do not design mazes that only geniuses can solve. I design paths that even trembling ones can follow if they look at me. Also this, stop waiting to feel less human before you obey. Even brave steps come with a heartbeat you can hear and hands that get damp. Courage is not numbness. It is love moving through trembling. You will not lose me because your voice shakes. I am not measuring your worth by how smooth your delivery is. I measure the nearness of your heart, the honesty of your yes, the integrity of your steps. And here, my promise rising again and again like a drumbeat under this moment. I am not opening a door to mock you. I am opening a door to move you. I will go with you. I will steady you. I will correct you gently. I will not leave you halfway. When you choose the faithful step today, you participate in a sequence I have already arranged. Conversations will open that were barred. Help will arrive that did not answer your earlier calls. Solutions will appear that did not exist when you were staring at the wall. Not because you impressed me, but because you agreed with me. Agreement is power. Obedience is alignment. Alignment creates acceleration. Soon you will call it sudden. You will say, I don't know how it happened so fast, but you will know it was not random. It was the quiet architecture we have been building together becoming visible. It was the morning text you finally sent, the budget you finally faced, the apology you made without bargaining, the daily prayer that retrained your attention, the act of choosing peace when anxiety was loud. Small yeses formed a runway, and I landed something you thought was too heavy for your life. Now you will see what endurance feels like when hope is not a strain, but a strength. So rise, faithful one. Put your hand on the handle and your foot on the floor. Speak the yes you can speak today. Call, apply, schedule, apologize. Begin, return, choose, release. Do not wait for the applause to tell you it mattered. Let my presence tell you it did. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Walk with the peace you have and watch it grow. Your breakthrough is on the other side of a faithful step you can take today. Not a grand gesture, not a spectacle, a step. Take it with me. We are moving now. My child, hear me now. I am not giving you a momentary high. I am establishing you in lasting peace and stable favor. I am not lighting a spark to watch it burn out. I am building a hearth that warms your days and lights your nights without devouring your strength. The door has moved, and you have begun to walk. Now let the blessing settle. Let it take up residence without you bracing for it to run away. Let it grow roots, not just branches. Let it become your new normal, not just your weekend miracle. I know the fear that rises as good arrives. You hold your breath and wait for the other shoe. You recall the last time joy felt near and then slipped through your hands. You wonder if receiving now means losing later, if ease today is a setup for disappointment tomorrow. That fear is a lie. I do not give to tease you. I do not bless to test how quickly you will apologize for having joy. I do not operate in zero-sum suspicion, subtracting love because you finally felt it. What I give with intention for it to remain, to mature, to be stewarded, to multiply without multiplying anxiety. I am not giving you a spike of relief. I am installing peace. Let me show you how blessing settles. It settles by rhythm. It settles by gratitude. It settles by stewardship. It settles by nearness. It settles by generosity and humility. I am teaching you to keep what you have received without clutching it in fear, to hold it with open hands, that know I am the source, and because I am steady, your life can be steady. First, rhythm. Stability is formed in the ordinary minutes where drama used to live. When I say rest is returning, I mean your evenings stop feeling like triage. Your calendar has white space on purpose. Your sleep deepens enough that mornings do not already feel behind. Your conversations enter rooms with honesty, not performance. Build rhythm with me, a simple morning where you open your heart before you open your notifications, an evening where you review the day with me, and let me name what mattered. Set anchor points in your week. One protected window for quiet, one for wise counsel, one for joy that doesn't need to be posted. Rhythm tells your nervous system the blessing is not about to evaporate. Rhythm tells your spirit we are safe enough to be consistent. Second, gratitude. Not flattery, not pretending. Gratitude that names specifics. Today, the pressure in my chest eased for an hour. Today, the email I feared was answered with favor. Today, I said no without shaking and yes without bargaining. Write them, speak them, share them with safe people. Gratitude is not me demanding you perform thankfulness. It is me giving you a tool that turns moments into memory, memory into testimony, testimony into muscle. When you thank me, you notice me. When you notice me, fear loses the microphone. Keep a simple record, a sentence a day of what grace did. This is not sentimental, it is strategic. You are training your mind to see provision as normal, not as an anomaly that will vanish. Third, stewardship. Settlement requires order. Put numbers with actual values on paper and treat provision as an assignment, not an accident. Margin is worship. It says, I trust you enough to live within wisdom. Pay what you owe with integrity. Save with patience. Give with joy. Maintain what you own. Repair before replace. Plan before panic. Stewardship is not punishment for being blessed. It is the container that keeps blessing from spilling everywhere. It is how sustenance turns to surplus over time. The door I opened will not require chaos to remain open. It will respond to faithful, small, consistent care. Fourth, nearness. Settlement is not you graduating from dependence on me. It is you deepening it. The safest place for a new thing is next to me. Do not drift because the pressure lowered. Do not replace prayer with presumption. Keep our conversations honest. Bring me the joy. Bring me the questions. Bring me the logistics. I want to stand inside your schedules and your rooms. When decisions appear, return to the witnesses I already gave you. Peace, fruit, confirmation, courage, and walk them again. Dependence keeps you flexible without being flaky, teachable without being tossed around. Near me, the blessing breathes and grows. Away from me, it becomes something you are forced to defend alone. I did not ask you to be the security guard of your own life. Stay with me. I am the keeper. Fifth, generosity and humility. When a stream flows in, let streams flow out. I am making you a channel, not a monument. Give time where you once hoarded minutes in fear. Give encouragement where you once withheld words to stay safe. Give practical help where you once stayed uninvolved because you felt empty. Your giving does not diminish your receiving. It confirms it. Humility says, this is not because I am superior, it is because I am loved. Humility keeps you grounded when praise comes, keeps you teachable when adjustments are needed, keeps you kind when others are still in their waiting. Generosity and humility turn settled blessing into shared blessing. They protect your heart from the pride that isolates and the scarcity that suffocates. Now, watch for the signs that settlement is working. You will notice calmer reactions where triggers used to run the day. You will notice your no holding without venom and your yes sounding like honesty, not people-pleasing. You will notice you no longer rehearse arguments in your head all afternoon. You will notice laughter returning on an ordinary evening. You will notice that you stop creating emergencies to feel alive. Less drama is not boring, it is healing. Order is not legalism. It is love creating space to breathe. The right relationships will gain steadiness. Unhealthy alliances will naturally lose grip because you no longer feed them with panic. Your direction will become consistent, not a new plan every week, but a steady line of small obediences that accumulate into visible change. And when fear tries again, what if it goes away? What if I mess it up? What if good provokes loss? Answer it with covenant truth. I chose you specifically. I am not fickle in affection. I am not retracting my hand because you finally exhaled. Practice this sentence. My Father is faithful, and what He gives, He teaches me to keep. Then walk back through rhythm, gratitude, stewardship, nearness, generosity. These practices are not hoops to impress me. They are habits that keep your heart open and your life aligned with what I am building. Mark this day, faithful one. This is not entertainment for your emotions. This is confirmation for your spirit. I am establishing you. I am setting the table for longevity. I am turning the page not to a fireworks display, but to a well-built chapter with walls that stand and a roof that keeps the weather out. I am settling you in lasting peace and stable favor. Let it be said of you, not that you had a moment, but that you were planted, and you grew. Hold what I have given with open hands. Keep near to me, and watch as the blessing does not just arrive, it abides. We will seal this together, and you will know it by the quiet certainty that follows. You are home in my care, and what I start, I keep. My child, let us seal this now. Be still inside for a moment and feel my nearness, not as an idea, but as the quiet weight of love resting on your shoulders. Peace is your confirmation. The door is opening, and you will walk through it with me. Not later, not when you feel worthy. With me now. Pray with me. Open your heart without rehearsing the perfect speech. Say this to me in your own way, and I will meet you in it. Father, I confess the exhaustion of my waiting. I confess the anger at delays I did not understand. I confess the guardedness that made my yes small and my no sharp. I confess the compromises I made out of fear, the days I numbed, the nights I worried. I confess the unbelief that told me you were far away when you were near. And now I receive your forgiveness. Wash the shame from my memory. Lift the heaviness that made me cynical. Jesus, be Lord of my pace, my choices, my attention. Spirit of truth, align me. Give me discernment to recognize your door, courage to walk through it, and peace that settles me as I go. Amen becomes more than a word. It becomes the settling of my whole self into your care. And now hear me answer your prayer line by line. I speak to your mind. Be still. I quiet the loops of what if and the catastrophizing that squeezes your chest. I break the agreement with dread that wakes you before dawn and narrates your day through suspicion. I install clarity where fog sat, focus where distraction scattered you, gentleness where self-criticism bruised you. Receive this thought that keeps returning like a bird that knows its nest. My peace guards you. When choices come, peace will be your confirmation. If peace is present, proceed. If peace withers, pause. I am not confusing you. I am guiding you. I speak to your body. Release. Shoulders, come down. Jaw, unclench. Breath, lengthen. Nervous system, remember safety. I bless your sleep with real rest, not long hours of light dozing. I bless your mornings with enough strength for the step in front of you. I bless your appetite to nourish you, your movement to energize you, your hormones and rhythms to cooperate with calm. Wherever trauma taught your body to live on the edge, I am teaching you now to live in the center with me. Let the tension go. In my presence, your body may shake as it lets go, or sigh as it releases, or feel warmth as it softens. That is not you failing, that is you healing. I speak to your home. Peace, enter. Make the atmosphere steady. Let laughter return without performance. Let the rooms be places of honesty and repair. Let boundaries be honored without warfare. I bless the doorways to welcome what is for you and to refuse what drains you. I bless the table to be a place of nourishment and conversation, not calculation and stress. I bless late-night hours to be quiet and holy, not filled with arguments rehearsed in your head. Arriving at your home, my peace, my order, my joy. I speak to your relationships, wisdom and healing. I give you the grace to discern who is an assignment, who is a season, and who is a covenant. I bless your courage to say no without venom and to say yes without bargaining. I open paths for reconciliation where safety and humility make it wise. I place holy distance where patterns have proven unfruitful. I remove alliances that require you to betray your peace. I give you words that are truthful and kind, and I silence the impulse to explain yourself to those who only want a performance. You will recognize the right connections by the fruit they produce and the courage they call forward in you. I speak to your provision. Doors open now, not vague opportunity, but specific favor with the right people in the right places. I bless your work with clarity and margin. I bless your hands to build steadily. I bless your planning to reflect wisdom, not panic. I bless the inflow and the outflow, the paying and the saving, the giving and the investing. I put dignity on your labor, creativity in your problem solving, and rest in your schedule so you can sustain what I am giving. I break scarcity's forecasts and replace them with sufficiency. Stability is arriving, lines with actual values, bills paid with peace, surprises that lighten rather than tighten. What I give, I teach you to keep. I speak to your purpose. The next step becomes clear, not the whole staircase, the next step. I bring into focus the assignment on your desk, the conversation you need to schedule, the application you need to send, the study you need to begin, the rest you need to honor, the boundary you need to hold. I confirm direction by peace, fruit, confirmation, and courage. Again, peace that settles, fruit that grows, confirmation that repeats, courage that rises. You are not on a tightrope. You are on a path with a shepherd who knows the way. Now receive this prophetic assurance into the places where you still flinch. You are not behind. You are being led. What I have for you will not miss you. Adoption in my family is irrevocable. I chose you specifically. I do not work with closing windows and shame-filled deadlines. I work with seasons, guidance, and grace. Where you see detours, I see alignment. Where you call it delay, I call it positioning. Peace is your confirmation. When peace rests on a door, you will know it, and you will walk through it with me. As a simple act of faith, put this agreement into words so your own ears can hear it and your community can witness it. Write, I receive alignment. Say it out loud now. Write it where you will see it. Let it be your answer to the lies that say you have missed it. Then choose one small obedient step today. Name it to me. Do it within the day. We will review it together tonight. Agreement becomes movement. Movement becomes momentum. Momentum becomes the breakthrough that will look sudden, but will be the result of these quiet yeses with me. I bless you now to carry this peace into your hours. I bless your coming and your going, your beginnings and your endings, your words and your silence. I bless your devices to be tools, not tyrants. I bless your thresholds to be walked with courage, your rooms to be filled with kindness, your calendar to tell the truth about what matters. I place my name upon you and my hand beneath you. I go before you to open doors, beside you to steady you, within you to guide you, behind you to gather what you drop in haste. You will not be alone on any hallway I ask you to walk. Let this word not stop with you. Share it with someone who is still calling it delay and needs to hear it is alignment. Become a messenger of the hope you have received. If this has ministered to your spirit, stay in the stream of encouragement, subscribe, and keep coming back so I can keep speaking to you in this way, and return to this place of prayer daily. One sentence of honesty can change the atmosphere. We are not done. We are just beginning to walk in what I have arranged. Peace is your confirmation. The door is opening, and you will walk through it with me. You are not behind. You are being led. What I have for you will not miss you. I seal this over you now, in mind, in body, in home, in relationships, in provision, in purpose. Let it be so. Amen.